Today's honors review, Hglrc Motowhoop 90, Pusher Edition. I'm Justin Davis, and this is Drone Camps RC. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Drone Camps channel. Back to Camps Life here. We're at the bench, and I have a brand new release here today from Hglrc. It is the Hglrc Motowhoop 90. It has been reborn from the original version, which I kind of had mixed feelings about the original version. It was okay. It was kind of fast. It was not really a freestyler. It had some washout and some tumble. This one seems to be doing better with the new trend of a little larger motors and something that can handle 4S. We have a really compact 90mm frame on this design. We have the new ALS motors on here. These are 1305.5 motors, and we have Avon 2-inch props with the downward thrust on here. So I've talked about this before. It has a nice unobstructed airflow underneath this aircraft, which makes it hover really good. And if you're trying to cruise and get out there and do cinema, that's the kind of whoop that you want. So it is noisier, I think, than the 2.5-inch Cinewhoops because we have a little smaller prop on here, and you have pretty high RPM. So it is quite noisy. When this little guy takes off, you know it's out there. But once you get out there and cruising, it's not really going to disturb anybody. Top mount battery on here, running analog video with the Zeus F7 on board. These are 13 amp ESCs, and kind of nice because it's all under 250 grams. We have a cable here already for your action camera. So I just spliced in, and I had my SMO 4K running within a few minutes of the solder job. So carbon top plate with the front bar brace, and we have this underslung TPU camera. It's kind of hanging there. So it has a pretty nice tune on here as well. So we have a nice tune and a nice cruiser quad. I wouldn't say it's a freestyle beast or anything like that, but this quad is the one to get if you're looking for something that's compact and that you can put a camera on and you can do some cruising. So a nice analog offering from Hglrc. I think it's around the $179 price point on the website, and also an HD version of this little guy. So let's go outside now and let's fly the reborn Motowhoop 90. Here we go. Alright guys, before we get into the meat of the review, let's just go ahead and do the weight. 97 grams, under 100 grams, that's pretty good. So with the 4S 650, we're looking at 156.2 grams. Now with the SMO 4K camera, let's see what we get. Probably gonna bring us in right around close to 190, 188.7. So not bad, under 200 grams for everything, for your total takeoff weight with the camera. All right guys, welcome back from the flight test. So, Motowhoop 90. Let's go ahead and break this little guy down. Now, 13 amp ESCs, Zeus AIO flight controller. We have analog video on here, and it is the new Zeus analog VTX. And this Zeus analog VTX is running up to 350 to 400 milliwatt, I believe. Now, the Zeus AIO comes in several different form factors here for the ESCs. This is the 13 amp version, but it says that the input voltage on here is 3 to 6S. I would not suggest running this on 6S. You'll probably burn this up. With 13 amp ESCs, I'm lucky to get away with 4S, and you get to hear the honest truth on this channel. Some people say I don't talk about the cons of quads. They need to watch this video and a lot of my other videos. Now, this Cinewhoop has its place. It is a cruiser. It is not really a freestyle god like the Kopis or the Gep RC Cinelog 25. This 2-inch offering, I feel like at the top end of the throttle for freestyle is underpowered. So it does have BL-Heli 32 on here. It does not have a current sensor. Peak current amp 15 amp for 5 seconds. So with a 4S battery, that might be why this little guy was bogging out. But so that's the kind of cons about the Motowhoop 90. I think that the pro of this configuration here is that it's durable. It has a really nice tune. The top mount battery is nice. It is much more compact than the 2.5 inch quads. But at the end of the day, I feel like I don't feel like it's slow, but I feel like it's underpowered at the high end of the throttle stick. It's not quite what I was expecting for the 1305s. You know, these motors are the same size motors that they're running on some of the 2.5 inch quads. So sizing down the prop, you have less airflow and less punch at the high end of the throttle. So I feel like flying all the 2.5s, when I went to fly this, I feel like I'm kind of lacking something and missing something. So if you want something compact and a little baseball field type flyer, grab one of these. I feel like Crossfire is kind of overkill on this one when my top flight time on this was about 4.5 minutes. If you're flying a 4S 650 on here and you're getting out to 5 minutes, I would be surprised. Even some of my newer batteries had a little bit of sag out because what happens here is you have super high RPM with the same size motor with a smaller prop. So this little prop's spinning faster than what you typically have on the 2.5 and the 3-inch quads that are running 1305.5 motors. So she's trying harder is what's happening. The tune on here is great. I like the fact that it does have the new Zeus VTX on here as well. The hammer antenna works great. I had no problems with that. I got great reception. Those antennas mounted back here with this TPU mount. And the Yvonne props, I knew that these would fly smooth. If you go back and look at the footage, there's not a lot of jello in the footage. You can see the prop guards in the view, but when you record from your SMO 4K or a DK GoPro, you're not going to see any prop guards. So that is the way that the video is going to come out for you. but I felt like it was durable. I'm happy that they included some extra ducts in the box. You get 2 extra ducts. You get also the schematic here for the Zeus, which is great. And this being an F7 is one of the reasons why it has a really nice, smooth flying flight controller. And in combination with the Avon 2-inch props, it flies really smooth. They have a lot of receiver options on here. Fly Sky, we have TBS Crossfire. You can do the R9M or the RXSR from Fly Sky. Or the RXSR is actually, they have that labeled wrong. It says Fly Sky, but it's actually going to be FR Sky, Free Sky. So that's interesting. That's on labeled wrong on this page. But, you know, 13 amp ESCs, and it says 6S, 3 to 6S on here. There is a 6S version of this flight controller, but this is not that. So don't fly this quad on 6S. You want to stick to 3S and 4S. So a 3S 650 will fly good. It'll be a cruiser if you're a brand new guy. Start there and then work your way up to 4S if you want to do some high throttle punch out with some flips. But you don't want to full throttle for a long time on 4S with this quad. So my suggestion to you guys, since I do honest reviews, is if you're going to spend $300 on the DJI version of this, it's going to put you up into around the $300 range. I would suggest just getting the Hglrc Compass or picking up the Hglrc Cinewhoop 25. Both of those quads right there are a little quieter, but they also get around an 8-minute flight time. So if you're going to spend the same amount of money, why would you want, like, you know, 3.5 to 4-minute flight time when you're kind of juicing the throttle? So that's my honest opinion on this one. I think if you're looking for something smaller, which some people are, I don't think it's that much smaller, but it is noisier as well. So those are the cons about that. Otherwise, it flew great. Not a lot. There's barely any jello in this camera right here with the tune on board. So the F7 is like really primo. The Zeus is doing great for me, and I had great reception coming back to my goggles for my 030s. My daily drivers over here with my new Hglrc Drone Camp's 9 dB patch antenna that came out. So they're going to start selling these pretty soon. I'll try to find a link for you guys and put one of those links down below. And this is called the Hglrc Oreo. I don't know if you can zoom in and see that, but the Oreo's coming out, and they have Drone Camps versions of those for you guys, so pretty cool. But I like the quad, and I just think that there's, for the price point, there's better offerings out there. So keeping it honest with you guys as always, I'll put my top 5 inverted 2-inch and 2.5-inch Cinewhoops down below. My suggestion is to go 2.5 or 3-inch, but 3-inch is a lot noisier than both 2.5 and 2-inch, but I feel like the 2-inch category is lacking in power for me. So it kind of feels like an indoor whoop. It will do great indoors, but outdoors it's not quite as good as the 2.5s. The 2.5s just sing. Can you tell I'm a fan of the 2.5? Yeah. So anyway, guys, this is the truth, and you heard it right here on the channel. Today's honest review. I appreciate it if you subscribe, and like always, guys, stay humble and be kind to everyone you fly with and out there on the internet. We're all people, right? So I appreciate you watching. Please do subscribe on the channel, guys. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.